The Lakers put up a good fight on Saturday, but we're missing too many dudes. How much offense is going to be on the sideline, and for how long? That's next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for helping make the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network in this or any other known universe. I'm Brian Kamenetsky with Andy Kamenetsky. This is Locked On Lakers, of course. The Lakers lose to the Clippers 103-88, which, that score actually gives you an idea of what kind of game this was. The Lakers already shorthanded coming into this game, missing a ton of offense with Austin Reaves still on the sideline, Deandre Ayton on the sideline, and now joined by Rui Hachimura in terms of three of your bigger offensive cogs, Andy, if you are a Laker fan. And Luka Doncic was moving poorly, I would say, from the jump. Played through the first half, did not play particularly well, or certainly not efficiently, and then didn't play in the second half. So we'll get to, Lakers put up a good fight. They made this game much closer than it had any right to be. Clippers really struggled to put them away, despite the fact the Lakers, again, 88 points, had an enormous amount of trouble finding some buckets. But Andy, they're running out of dudes, and they're running out quickly.
Yeah, Rui, JJ said before the game, he is hoping, it's like a hip groin thing that he's hoping won't keep him out more than 3 to 5 days, which could theoretically get him back for the Christmas Day game against the Rockets. He also said that Austin Reaves and Deandre Ayton are close to returning, but did not give anything definitive, much less lining them up to play Tuesday versus the Suns. But to your point, the Lakers were already dealing with a shorthanded state. And then we weren't given any details in JJ's post-game press conference about what happened with Luka. JJ said he didn't know. And what I found, though, really interesting,
they call it a lower leg contusion. You could see clips of them kind of rubbing on what looked like his calf and stuff. So that seems to be what it was, as a contusion. Fancy word for bruise, is different in theory than a strain or a pull. But you got to be careful with all of it.
Well, my point being, it's not even clear when this happened during the game. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me at all if this is something that happened to Luka either during pregame warmups or from the game in Utah.
Correct.
Because from minute one, Luka looked really just uncomfortable, physically out of sorts. He opened the game 0 of 5. He finished with 12 points on 4 of 13 shooting, 1 of 6 from behind the arc, 4 turnovers. And there was one point during the game where I tweeted out at Cam Brothers, this is probably a few minutes or so into the second quarter, or halfway through the second quarter, what's Slovenian for get Luka out of this game before he hurts himself? Because he just looked so just uncomfortable. And to his credit, he clearly wanted to try to get through this thing, and then said at halftime he just couldn't do it anymore. So credit Luka for trying, but it was just obvious right from the beginning that he wasn't right. What also became glaringly obvious, and granted, this is exacerbated even further by the absences of Austin, DeAndre, and Rui, but just how much the Lakers offense completely falls out of whack if Luka's even just out there, but physically, diminished, much less what was going on there. From minute one, the team just looked completely out of sorts.
Well, there's that. I mean, and it's worth noting, and I was at the beginning of the show, I was talking about guys who are missing and as offensive contributors. Rui, Austin, DeAndre, 3 big parts of the Lakers offense. Even when Rui doesn't put up a lot of points, his skill set is very important to the Lakers. They shot from 3-point range, 6 of 38 from beyond the arc. That's 16%. I believe they said that's like the worst performance in Lakers history. It's or in a long time. Rui obviously helps that. It's at least going to be Andy 21%, 22% if you ever. And I say that jokingly, but if the Lakers shot even just regular bad from 3 in this game, they might actually win. And so
between that missed free throws, like if they had shot just a normal bad percentage from behind the arc and
27%.
Right. And missed
would be 3 more threes or something like that.
Right. And missed 6 free throws as opposed to 9 free throws, and 6 still isn't very good. You're right. They might end up winning this game because, my God, the Clippers seemed incapable, disinterested, or both. They were playing the Clippers like a team that was torn between knowing they should win this game because it's the right professional thing to do, and also knowing that, like, with every win, the odds of this thing getting blown up and, me, Clipper player X, getting traded somewhere different decreases, by 10%. And I want to get the hell out of here.
It just, it's hard to picture a group that looks like they're having less fun than the Clippers. Like, even when they made these little runs and hit a couple big shots, like you could see there are these moments like, it just, there's nothing there. Again, my condolences to Darian over at Locked On Clippers, but that's a him problem, not an us problem. It's still fascinating to watch. You look at this and, like, the Lakers don't have, that's a lot of scoring, but then you take away Gabe Vincent and you're also down a ball handler. And so it's just very difficult to get into the offense. It's very difficult to put together good possessions. They managed to, I think, create some through a lot of hard work. I mean, Jake LaRavia was fantastic, particularly on the offensive glass. Excuse me. And, I don't think it's a coincidence because Luka couldn't move. So when he was done in the second half, they did, the defense picked up a little bit and stuff like that. And they sort of efforted their way into a close game. LeBron is, I think, rounding into form. Certainly played very well on Saturday, 38 minutes, 36 points on a pretty efficient 15 of 28. That there are some things to like about it. Marcus Smart was 1 of 12, 0 of 9. So, the entire from 3, the entire Marcus Smart experience here. They were awful offensively, understandably so. But the big question just becomes how long people are going to be out, because you can't expect the Lakers to compete meaningfully against good teams with the level of offensive talent they were able to put on the floor on Saturday.
Yeah, it was just brutal to watch. Again, credit to these guys for really working their asses off, trying to make a real game of it. You mentioned LeBron and Jake. I thought Vando's effort throughout this game was really, really good. I thought while he was at times kind of wild in terms of shot selection and stuff like that, I thought Nick Smith Jr.'s effort was really good in this, just trying to make things happen.
He's trying to make things happen. And JJ put him on the floor for a lot of the second half. Obviously, no Luka, because of all of these guys, he's one of the only people on the roster for, and he's not a perfect guy, not an efficient player, 39.5% shooter, but he'll get out there and try to create some offense. And that's what they need.
The spirit of these guys during this game tonight, I thought was really commendable given the circumstances. Like, it would have been very easy for them to collectively pack it in. I don't even mean because, like, shrugging your shoulders, defeatist attitude, but more like, let's be pragmatic. We've got another game in a couple days. LeBron is pushing 41. Like, it might be the safer option to just shut this thing down. And they really just kept pushing through, maybe sensing, all joking aside, this Clippers team seems to have no interest in winning, no ability to win.
Do it. If the Clippers, to their credit, I guess, managed, when the Lakers got it down, I think 8 was the tightest it was, 8 or 9. And it was like, you could feel like if the if the Lakers could get the next bucket, this is in the fourth quarter, that there was a chance that you could feel like the Clippers could fold completely. They went on a 13-0 run to start the fourth. The Lakers did. And they were right on that border. The Clippers did hit a couple threes, and so they got the thing back. And then they were about to make another push as LeBron was coming on. Smith committed a terrible foul on Harden on a 3-point and one.
Yeah. And
it was one of these things where they probably weren't going to put LeBron back in, but the group without LeBron pushed far enough that they were within 10 points or so with 4 minutes left. You got to put LeBron back in.
By the way, this, we'll talk, I'm sure, more about any ramifications from this game, any updates we may get about health or whatever. But this is what we were talking about. And I know a lot of the viewers and listeners got upset with this, but when we were saying why we didn't like seeing the Lakers coast for 3 quarters versus Utah and then finally decide to try in the fourth quarter, if they had played with that type of effort to start the game against Utah, everybody might have been able to play fewer minutes because they might have been able to just play with a lead from the outset and control the game to the point.
Who knows?
That type of effort is just what you want to see from start to finish, if for no other reason than to try to make the most of the games that you play and make them useful exercises in getting better, as opposed to just, I know stacking wins matters, but you do want to try to make them serve a purpose. But anyway, it was a really good effort by the Lakers tonight, considering the circumstances.
So ultimately, there's not much you can do about this. There's really no one to fault in this. It is just, again, a question of when are guys going to be back on the floor? Hopefully, certainly by the marquee game on Christmas, you want to see everybody. But, particularly at his age, you don't want to put LeBron in a position where he's got to really carry an offensively challenged group for very long. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Obviously, we'll have a full show for you on Monday, hopefully with some updates Sunday from the Lakers. Be hard to have a practice with nobody available, but we'll see if we get some updates on their health. Thank you to everybody again for making Locked On Lakers your first listen of every day, making us the #1 sports podcast network in any or known universe. But we cannot leave, Andy, before we tell people this.
Well, that Locked On Lakers is brought to you by Robinhood. Nobody knows your money goals better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and EFTs, options, futures, and crypto, all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You can expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Locked On Lakers is also brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast, Andy. NFL Saturdays move fast. If you saw the game Saturday between the Packers and the Bears, oh my, that moved quickly in the fourth quarter. It's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. This fourth quarter in Bears-Packers, perfect example of that. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. And live betting is best when the game starts to shift, like, say, the fourth quarter, Packers-Bears. And the receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, and the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can even bet on next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. Keeps you locked up into every snap, every drive, every possibility. Rams, by the way, needed the Packers to do them a favor, and they didn't, but it was still an exciting game. If you want to be right in the middle of the action, Andy, this season you can visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Reminder, Locked On Lakers is where you can go on YouTube, is where you can go hang out with over 37,000 subscribers. We'll see everyone Monday.